All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I was actually looking at a few things, just riding around town, and so I gotta wait. I'm not gonna say any names. I've already went through the shadow banning thing, so I don't want to be shadow banned. I'm just gonna ask you that whatever I say, if you want to know whether it's true or real, just like Google whatever I say, and something will come up about it. This is gardening related. It's just a little motivational live stream or garden chat, and I want to relate this so you can know that what I'm telling you is coming and it's true. You remember, I wasn't even alive, but if you look at the history, you remember like the American economy, the American dream was actually built upon entrepreneurship and home ownership, which means that people went out and bought land or property or houses. They wanted to own a house and land. And with that, they had to go and get a job to take care of that house. But if you remember, throughout the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, everything was home ownership. It was like owning a piece of real estate. And then somewhere around the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, more people started moving into apartments. At that point, when houses were more available, people even rented houses. But as apartments started coming online, and as corporate America began to take over housing, you actually you actually saw rent prices increase. What happened with that, and why that happened, is when you had landlords where the guy in the town owned 100 houses, or the lady or the family owned 30, 40 properties. They lived in the town, and I would say they were able to see the economy of the town. They was able to see, okay, this is how much business we have out here. This is a fair price, what we call fair market value. Good morning, Rock Just Living. This is what they call fair market value, where I know people don't have jobs, so I'm not going to raise the price of rent to $400. I'm talking about back in the 50s, or $100 rent. No, we're going to keep it reasonable. We're going to rent for $75 a month. But what happened when the government gets in bed with uh, private business or corporations, they tend to not live in those towns. Those corporations do not live in the towns. They don't care about the towns. All they care about is the bottom dollar. So they go into town, they start building up these apartments, bulldozing all the houses, putting up apartments and businesses. Now, with the government comes in with them because they're together. The government comes in and say, okay, now the price of rent in that area is $75 a month. But because you just built a new property, you're going to bring in business and all of that nonsense. We're going to give you $100 a month, or we'll give you $125 a month because you got that apartment complex for rent. That sounds good. But what happens is now the people that was renting those houses in town, the fair market value isn't $75 anymore. Now the businessman or the landlord, he's looking like, man, everybody's going over here and paying 125. I'm at least gonna charge 100. What that's done, in fact, is that's raised the rent value because corporations, government, whether you call it Section 8 or whatever, have come in and actually they've started to make the property value increase. They do it easily just by buying the land or holding it, or they'll buy so much land and do nothing with it. And what that does is that puts a strain on the supply and demand. So whereas if I bought land and I was a private person, when I bought land, I'm buying it to do something with it. I'm buying it to, what's going on, EJ? I'm buying it to actually put it into commerce. So when I buy a piece of land, I'm going to build a house on it. I'm going to rent it out. I'm going to put some apartments on it. But some of these corporations, they're smart. When they buy land, some of the land they're going to buy, they might build it up. But a lot of the land they buy, they're not going to do anything with it. And what that does is if you shrink the supply, if you buy land and just bulldoze everything, or you buy land and just let the grass grow up on it, in fact, what you've done is you've shrunk the supply and you've actually increased the demand, making the prices go up. So, what am I saying about government and corporate farms is what's going to be in play now. I'm saying is that the same thing happens with the food prices. You already know the, how can I say this? Just Google who owns the most farmland and you'll know that's a corporation. So he doesn't actually own it, but his corporation, that's the way they're putting it. His corporation owns so much land. And he's not the only one. So you look at companies like Berkshire Hathaway, everybody knows about Warren Buffett. He actually put out a statement about that's basically the best land, the best investment right now is farmland and more land, whatever land you can get your hands on. When a person like that says that, then all of the other investors, they don't even know what they're doing. They just go in and start buying land. But these people are not buying land, right? Like my land, it's swamp land, it's low land. They don't want that. They want the most pristine, the most fertile farmland they can get their hands on. So as I said, what happens when a corporation or when a person like me and you, we go out and get 10 acres. As soon as we get it, we got plans for it. We're trying to plant trees, we're trying to get animals, we're trying to work the land. But when a corporation goes and buys 200,000 acres or 100,000 acres, they have no intent to work the land. They're not going to live out there, no intent to farm the land, but they're smart is because they understand two things that's going on in America right now. And is that the government is getting worse and worse. And is anything the corporations say, they'll do. So what the corporations now, they've gotten smart. Over the last, I don't know how many decades, you've probably heard of people getting paid not to farm. This is a real thing. Um, I've heard of some people that's actually gotten paid not to farm. And so you get 100 acres of farmland. Now, this is the thing. You can't buy 5 acres and say, "Oh, I'm a farmer. Pay me not to farm." You can't even qualify for this kind of stuff. You got to own over 100 plus acres, 100 acres, 200 acres, 1,000 acres, and you've actually farming it. And then the government will come in and they will say, "Hold up, we need this land. Can you not farm this land for 10 years?" And you say, "Oh no, man, I'm making $1 million off of this land. I'm not going to not farm this land for 10 years. That's $10 million that I'm going to lose." So what they're going to do is they're going to say, "Well, if you not farm it,
Hello, guys.
if you not farm that land, I'll give you 20 million." Sweetens the pot. Sweetens the pot really good. You say, "Oh, so you mean to tell me if I work this land and work my behind off day and night and have to buy fertilizer and feed and seed, if I got to do all of that, I'm going to make $10 million maybe. But if I don't do it and don't do anything to the land, you're going to give me 20 million? Who's going to pass that up?" So, so in fact, when corporations coming in, they're seeing business opportunity with the way the world is working. And then so what happens is when they take and buy that 2,000 acres or that 100,000 acres and not farm it, that's the reason why you're seeing those prices steady climbing, is because they're actually taking the supply and they're talking about supply chain crisis and all it. It's no supply chain crisis when it's no supply. So once we take away all the supply and we still got all this demand, the prices begin to rise. So you got corporations that don't know anything about farming. They just want the land. But why? Because this is what something was telling me. they're gonna either price you out or starve you out. Most family-owned farms are probably no more than one or two harvests away from bankruptcy. They're developing this same guy I'm talking about. He's working with, and you got to look at it's a big picture. This same guy I'm talking about, he's also the person that's in the development of certain type of seeds that are going to be able to be viable for certain types of environments. So me and you, our seeds are going to be able to withstand certain temperatures, certain pests, and other pests will eat them up. But there, when you're doing these modified type of seeds, the average farmer is going to be getting his hands on just regular seeds. But once we get to messing with, I'm not going to get into it, but once we get to messing with the weather and the weather begins to change, your seeds may not be able to handle what the weather is going to throw at it. But these corporations, they're going to be sailing in the wind because the seeds that they've created, I don't want to say too much of it. Right? The seeds they created will be better fit for the environment than what we have on a large scale. Now you'll still get produce, but your seeds will be what they call genetically inferior, and you'll get less and less produce, enough to feed yourself, but to make money off of, you won't be able to do it. That's the reason for today's live stream. Is I'm telling you, just like the government and corporations have taken over housing, they're steady buying up all the houses and land, doing nothing with them, tearing them down because they want you in apartments. And you know I'm not lying. If you ride around your city, you ride around your town, I don't care if it's in the country, I don't care if it's in the outskirts, wherever you go, you're going to see apartments going up everywhere, 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 because the government and corporations want everybody wherever they want them at. The same thing for land. Hey, Miss Stephanie, the same thing for land. It's going to be hard to get. It's going to be hard to get good land. They're going to let you buy that no good stuff, but real good land, you're not gonna really see it. So what we need to do if we're gonna survive, I was looking at my garden and I said, I can't even feed the street. I don't have enough food to feed even this street. And then something said to me, you don't need enough food to feed the street. Each and every person has to grow enough food. The home garden will become the new age farm, and that's going to be it. You're not going to have any parts of real farming, like real 5 acres, 10 acres of corn, uh 10 acres of rice, or 100 acres of sugar cane. The corporations, they've already bought all of that. You can't get it. You can't get your foot in the door. Where we're going to survive is right here. When you get that 2 acres, that 3 acres, and that's the best you can get, 1 acre. I see a lot of YouTubers on a half an acre, a fourth an acre. Whatever you can get your hands on, you have to turn that into a farm by any means necessary. You have to figure out how to turn that into the farm. Y'all don't forget, give me a heart in the comments. I like to see these hearts. I saw a video, I asked for some hearts. I had so many hearts on it. So if you can, go to your emojis and give me a heart in the comments so we can kind of share the love a little bit. If you're looking at YouTube and social media, you remember just what it was about a few weeks ago. You saw that where like they just showed you. Appreciate it, Mary. Appreciate it, Pacello. Maria, thank you for the hearts. They look different colors too. Thank you for the hearts. Love to see the hearts, even the black ones. Look at all those hearts. Love you too, Miss Stephanie. Hope you're enjoying where you at right now. Uh, look like thousands and thousands of cows just gone. And we're complaining. People are really complaining about the beef prices, about the chicken prices. Why are you complaining about the chicken prices when all you need is this little area right here, and you can put 100 chickens in there. You can put 200 chickens in there. You won't have to worry about the prices if you go and get your own. You don't need a lot of land, but you're going to need a little piece. You may not be able to get, I know your dream is to get 10 acres, 20 acres. If you can get a half an acre, you can do something with that. It doesn't take a lot. Don't get any land where they got restrictions. Don't get any land where they're talking about you can't do this, you can't do that. HOAs, you don't need land like that. See, that's Pacello. That's what I'm saying. You got to get out of there. Because if you don't, you're going to be at the mercy of the chicken prices. And right now, you could afford to buy 10 packs of chicken wings. I know y'all got money like that. You can afford to buy 10 packs, 20 packs if you want it. When you go to the store and you see $30 a pack, I've seen some stores already $30 a pack. You're not going to be able to eat like talking about. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing because some of us can afford. I had a few months ago, I was like, man, I got to back away from this table. Sometimes it's a good thing that the prices are going up to get us to eat a little bit less or stop overeating. But this is easy to do if you get out and do it. You look at Deep South Homestead, got about 8 to 10 acres out there, and he's not worried about the beef prices. He got about 10 cows out there just roaming around. This is enough land for me to put a cow on if I wanted to, but I'm not into raising a cow. But you don't need much to get you 1 cow or 2 cows to actually have enough meat for the year. That's going to be the new farm. The family farms, the family-owned farms like Sanderson's Farms and all of those things, those are just names now. Those families are done with. They just kept the name. Most of everything that we've looked at as family-owned farms or big family-owned businesses, many of those the corporations have already bought out. They've already taken them over. And now, if you don't have a piece of property that you can grow something on, that you can grow some food on, you're going to be at the mercy of Wally World. You're going to be at the mercy of Target, of HEB, Kroger's, Costco, and whatever prices they put out there. Somebody said, tripping about getting chickens. So much work, so many responsibilities. Don't know how to manage chickens, but we may be forced. You see, that's because you really don't know. Chickens are basically maintenance free. Once you secure them and put them in a cage where nothing can get into it, chickens don't just, some of your chickens when they're small, they're going to die. Some of them when they get old, they just die. But for the most part, the only thing that kills chickens is stuff that get in the cage. They don't really get that sick. They don't really get diseases like talking about on the most part. Usually it's just coyote, raccoon, possum, rats, something gets in the cage. So if you keep everything out of the cage, all you got to do is run back there and throw them food scraps, little chicken feed. If you're willing to be a homesteader, which I'm not I would say full-time homesteader. So that's why I don't have them free ranging like I used to. But at the time when I used to be home more, when I had a different schedule at work, then those chickens, I would always like during the daytime, they was out in the yard. So that makes it even easier on the feed prices going through the roof when you can actually let them out in the daytime and they'll go up back by themselves at nighttime anyway. So you can actually feed them just house scraps like you would put in a composter. You can feed that to the chickens and no maintenance, which is why I have chickens and you don't see goats and lambs and cows and horses. That's because they're the most easily managed crop that actually gives you eggs and meat, and they actually eat up all your scraps. So like all the way around, and manure for fertilizer for your garden. I think they're the hands down chickens and rabbits. But I think even chickens even more than rabbits, because rabbits don't really give you eggs you can eat every day, but chickens do. Somebody say I'm homesteading, just can't have any livestock. See, that's why I'm telling you, you got to get out of there if you got the chance. I'm not the type of person to tell you that you're gonna make it. I'm just telling you, if you're a vegan, you may not need to be out in the woods like I am, because you may be able to just grow fruits and vegetables everywhere in your backyard and fine. But if you want to be away from the restrictions of these cities that have restrictions for no reason, I can understand the livestock in a city, but you got to bend some kind of way. I can't have at least one chicken, you know, one rabbit, or that you probably can get away with rabbits. But in most cities, like the city I came from, you couldn't have like roosters, but you could have hens. So that was the workaround, that you would have to just get hens. Three hens, I think it was, we could have, but I think I had like four or five. They won't mess with you. It just was more of a noise thing with roosters crowing while people are trying to sleep and get ready for work. But out here, the houses are more spaced out, so I guess the roosters don't really bother the average person as much. But I'm really serious about trying to get you to understand the importance. I'm thinking, I was thinking this today. Don't forget, if you're just coming in, don't forget to leave me a heart in the comment so I can see the hearts moving around, just like if I was on Facebook or something. Uh, I'm serious that I think, and I don't want to be a doomsdayer, and it's not a doomsday thing, but from what I'm seeing, at the rate at which I'm seeing these apartments go up, at the rate at which I'm seeing every time you throw out, thanks blessed too, thanks Amanda, thanks fate. At the rate I'm seeing these people buying, and the thing about it, I don't want to say the scary thing, but I'm gonna say that the scary part about that, thanks Kim, thanks Tamika, is that they're telling you that they're buying it. They're telling you why they're buying it. The scary part about that is what they're not telling you. If they tell you that they bought 100,000 acres, you better believe that just because he's the face of big money, you better believe that somebody else is buying 100,000 acres. Just because him and Warren Buffett might be buying 100,000, 200,000, there's somebody else, there's some other corporations buying 300,000. China, in America, China is buying thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of land. You would say, oh, thanks, life is good, Deb, Karen. That's a lot of hearts. I don't know why I like hearts like that. What you said, Fate. I can't say it. If I say it, I'm gonna get banned. If I say it, then nobody will be able to even look in these live streams. So I'm gonna let y'all say it. I'm not doing it anymore. I learned my lesson with YouTube. It's like, let the people say it. You can't say it. So y'all say it over there. I'm gonna say it without saying it. The prices of food, they keep telling you it's not coming down. If some way, somehow, you manage to get some land, hey, God's gift, manage to get some land, if it's at all possible, I got one more thing to work on here, and that's putting in, I've been thinking on this for the last, since I got here in 2017, a well system. Even if it's not for me to drink, some kind of well system where I can feed my livestock and water my plants without being on the city's grid. Because what I've seen, and I think somebody just started talking about it, I seen somebody say something about water. I was looking at a video of a blogger in Jamaica. I think her name was Naturally Toya or something like that. And it doesn't have anything to do with gardening. But I was looking at her video and she said, man, the water's out. She was in Jamaica. She was like, the water's out. And she was like, yeah, that's how they do us out here. Like certain times of the day, they turn the water off. You can't use the water if you want to. She said they turn the water off so they can give the water to the people in the other neighborhood. So they'll turn the water off in this neighborhood, leave the water on in that neighborhood for so long. Thanks, E. Fleming. Thanks, Judy, Alandria. So you got to be ready for this kind of stuff and prepare, because that heat wave we just got, if I did not have access to water, I probably would have lost almost everything out here. If I wouldn't have had access to that, even though that water, if you saw my video yesterday, even though that water has chemicals in it and all that nasty stuff and heavy metals, that still, with that being said, even without that filter, that still saved some of the stuff that I had. Can you imagine going without water for 2 weeks in the middle of the summer? Or if they say, okay, families, y'all gonna get 10,000 gallons of water a month. Once you reach that threshold, because all meters now are smart meters, they don't have to come out. If you probably, maybe if you way out in the country, but if you're closer to the suburbs or in between big cities like we are, most of the meters now, I think we're on like Energy or Demco, mostly all of the meters now are smart meters, which means to turn you off in the 80s and 90s, the waterman had to come out and turn you off. You think technology is, oh, they're making it so much easier. Really, they're gaming you. They're gaming us all. They're telling us the smart meters are so much easy. Oh, we could just look at your meter and see what's wrong with your house. We can see what's wrong with your service. That's not the reason at all. Because remember when they used to try to turn people off, the people would run out there to the meter man. Bro, please, man, give me till 5 o'clock. Give me an hour, please, man. Don't turn me off. Give me an hour. Let me go get the money, man, and I'm gonna go down there and pay. They're not worried about that anymore. Now you wake up in the morning, you haven't paid, your bill is overdue, and you're about 5-10 days overdue. They just cut you off from the office. They don't even have to come out. So when they tell you they're gonna give you 10,000 gallons per family or 5,000 gallons per family for the month, and once your meter reaches that threshold and that bot or that robot or that computer sees you hit the threshold, your meter just goes off. And you can't go out there how we used to do. I know some of y'all poor like we used to be. The meter man would come and turn the water off, and as soon as he leaves, we would go and turn the water back on. You can't do that no more. When they shut it off from the building with that smart meter, nothing's coming through. And that's the whole idea. That's what they're working with. Your energy is on a smart meter. Your water is on a smart meter. And they're going to just cut you off. Thanks, Brandy. They're going to cut you off. That's why you've been seeing, I think it's God, really, that you've been seeing the homesteading community. And most of the homesteaders are a little bit closer to God than the world, right? Than a prank channel. So you've been seeing the homestead community beckoning, begging people. It's like prophecy, looking into the future, telling folks, you need to get some solar. I don't care if it's a little bit of solar. You need to get some kind of solar. You need to get some kind of water filtration. You need to get some kind of water pump, well. You need to get a high tunnel. You need to get something to cover your plants. Low tunnels. Any frost blankets. You've been seeing people been begging you to get these things. Rain collection. It's because they're gonna try to control the masses based on wow. I don't know what that was about. Y'all let me know. Let me know if y'all can hear me. No, it's not raining. It's full. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Somebody tell me yes. I think EJ just put a heart in there. Oh, wow. I used to think I used to think it was YouTube messing with me or the government because I had got spooked at one time, but now I'm like maybe that's God saying that's it, like that's enough. So whatever I was saying, I can't even remember what I was saying. I'm gonna leave it alone because sometimes it is a point where it's like enough said, and I don't know. That was real creepy, and that never happened before. And I'm not even on Wi-Fi because I'm directly plugged in, and then my whole house just turned off Wi-Fi wise, not energy. And I guess it's back up now, and nothing was disconnected. They're not doing any work in the neighborhood. Sometimes you take it as the Lord saying, enough said. So, with that being said, how is everybody doing today? Yeah, talk is good, action is better. I've been trying to do a little bit more work around the garden, and now that I've kind of gotten that together, now I'm thinking about, I can do more videos. So that's why you've been seeing me doing more videos, because it's not that hard. I just had to figure it out. Um, I actually I actually got a little burned out. I can actually be honest about that. After we finished paying off the property, I think my body just had to recover totally, because I went through this period where I kind of got a little ill for the last 6 months. I guess you could call that long. You know the rest of it. Um, for the last 6 months, I'm gonna be honest with you. I was gonna do a video, but I'll just talk about it now since I'm finished talking about that. For the last 6 months since January, if I've slept 4 hours a night straight, I've actually accomplished something. So, with losing all of that sleep that I was losing from being up, and I want to talk about what, just in case they do take me out, I won't give them what was wrong, because I didn't even go to them. So I'm not gonna give them what was wrong because I didn't even go to the doctor or anything. But I needed time for my body, I guess, to kind of go and go through this process of resetting itself. With working like I was working, those kind of hours were that wasn't healthy at all. So I thank the Lord. Like I was telling Bells, like about a week ago, I started sleeping through the night, and I was waking up feeling so much better. And then I would have another night where I would fall back into not being able to sleep, and then 2 3 days passed, and I was getting that sleep, and I'm just so thankful. Y'all just don't know what a night of sleep feels like to a person for the last 6 months that couldn't get a full night of sleep. It was crazy. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful that I'm feeling better. Then my health, I wasn't eating right because I had to eat so much junk to try to get my energy up, because my energy was so low for not sleeping. So eating all that junk, then I started gaining weight. Then I'm looking at some of these videos like, man, I'm gaining some weight. So now I'm back to working out, back to exercising, back to feeling a little bit better like myself. And it's nothing like getting on here and telling the people that as long as you're living, you got a chance to keep moving forward. Even through all of that, I wasn't able to garden as hard as I had in the previous 4 or 5 years. But even through all of that, I was still able to get trees in the ground. I was still able to get new plants and new things. I was still able to move forward, even through the last 6 months of being sick. You probably A lot of the videos that I was doing, or lack of doing videos, I would have to cut out so much of the video just so you wouldn't see how sick I was at times. Um, but the Lord has been so good to me. Somebody says, find a place where you can afford to build your homestead and are willing to make a move. For me, it's Africa. Oh yeah, I saw. Oh man, what's my friend? She's from down here. She's in Now she's changed the name of her channel from Infinity 8 to something else. Now I think it's, I can't believe I can't remember her name. I'm gonna post another thing in my community section. Something about Karen. I think it's Karen. I don't be knowing people real names, and I don't take what people put on YouTube as the gospel, as that's their name. My name is King, but I don't put my whole name, and I don't put it in my channel name. But I think her name was Karen. I must have to post it. But she's moved to Africa as well. The people we evict the largest owner of and take back what belongs to us. I'm not even trying to get into that fight. I'm just telling you, stop waiting on reparations. Stop waiting on stimulus payments. Stop waiting on what the government gonna do. Stop waiting on student loan forgiveness. Stop waiting on, oh man, when they gonna give that first time home buyers credit again? That $8,000 so I can go get. Stop waiting on that stuff. The Lord will make a way. Find something that you can afford. Don't go crazy, because I pass houses, beautiful houses now that are empty. That's because somebody went in a little bit over their head. Don't go in over your head. I told Bells I was about to buy some property, and the Lord told me, say, if you want to get it, go ahead and get it. But I didn't move. I didn't move fast enough. Somebody else bought the property. I wasn't worried about it. It's because I know the same God that gave me this, he can give me whatever I want, right? And sometimes we can move a little too fast, and the fullness of the vision isn't quite ready for us to perceive it, or what you would call it. You can't interpret it correctly. And so I was talking to Bells. I was looking at this. I'm not really a person that loves big things and all of that. And I told Bells, I was like, you know what? I would love to just buy a lot of land. Like, I like having land because I want to plant stuff and farm, but I don't want a big house. And y'all lost me again? Somebody said, what happened? We lost you. Can y'all hear me now? Oh, okay. All right, thanks. Perfectly beautiful. Like the name. It's like 3 acres over here. Now, what was I saying? Somebody said they lost me and threw me off track. Golly, what was I saying? Yes. I'm glad you said that, Kimberly. I told Bells, I was like, the kids are growing up. We'll probably leave this house. I don't believe in like buying something and then selling it. So I'll say, the kids can have this land or property or whatever. If they wish, it'll be here. But I wanted to show them something even more amazing. And I think the tiny home movement is something that America eventually is going to go to, because right now, everybody in America wants bigger, right? They've been telling us this. Get a bigger house. Ooh, if you can afford that $300,000 house, but it's a $400,000 house with no land, as opposed to buying land, 5, 6, 10 acres of land, and putting a small $10,000 house on it. The same price, but now you got all this land, but a house that you can actually fit in. And I think that's what my next move that I want to look at. MD, you got it correct. Big land, small house. All these neighborhoods that they're putting up, if they're not building apartments, they're building these big houses, 190,000, 200,000, 250,000, and the lots are this size. So you're getting a huge house, no land. I don't want to do that. I want to do opposite of what the world is doing. I want to get 5 acres, 5 to 10 acres, and I want no restrictions, and I want to be able to put me a little house on it on this side, put me another little house on it. My kids want to come in town because it's me and Bev. I'm not married to my children, you know. I'm married to Bev, so to have a house, tiny home, a little refrigerator or something like that. But you can actually put a cheaper metal building on your property to where if you got family and stuff come over, y'all can actually hang out and chill out in that metal building, and you can make that. You can put insulation in it. You can put an air conditioner in one of the rooms. You can build a room inside of a metal building to where that way you can have a little kitchen or something in your metal building. But your house, your main house, I don't want a house where I have to put that $5,000 to $10,000 HVAC system on. I don't want that anymore. If I'm going to use my money to buy and build something, I want to have a house big enough where I can put in a window unit that has air and heat on it. And I want that window unit to be able to be sufficient to heat and cool that home. Or maybe a little small fireplace in the corner. That'll probably be too hot for the size house that I'm looking for. It might have to be a small little fireplace. Something like that, I'm telling you, is going to serve your family so much more. Because I go in these countries and I see them building houses, and it's nice, fine houses, but I go in the countries and I see them building houses. They got a little dirt road that goes in the back of the property, and I know it's all family owned. And you see a house going up here. You see 2, 3 other houses around. That's families that got the land, and their children finally done got old enough, and they can't afford anything around them. And they tell their children, you know what? If y'all want to build something on that back acre back there, have at it. Y'all, I'll sign the land over to y'all. Y'all can build over there. Now, you can't sell it to anybody that's not in the family, but have at it. If you want to stay on this land for the rest of your life, it's all good with me. And those children actually come. They don't have to buy the land. They can actually come on that. They can get a little acre off of yours, and they or half an acre or a fourth of an acre, and they can build them a little house for them and their family. Now, that's how you get those neighborhoods where the whole family stays in that area. That's something to look toward. Somebody said you can get 10 acres for 10,000 in New Mexico. I don't know about where the land is. I'm one of those where I feel if you're in Louisiana, you don't have to leave Louisiana for land. There's land everywhere in Louisiana. If you're in Texas, you do not have to run to Arkansas. You do not have to run to Wyoming or Idaho or Nevada. There's land in Texas. Now, the only difference is cheaper land, right? California, you're probably going to leave there because the land is too expensive. But I'm pretty sure even in California, as long as you're not in Los Angeles or in Sacramento or in what's another one of these California, Los Angeles, whatever, I don't know. Santa Barbara, where? San Francisco. That's what I was trying to think about. Thanks, Bill. If you're not in San Francisco and you go on the outskirts of all of those cities I just named, I'm sure that there's real affordable land in that state, no more than an hour away from where you currently live. Our problem is we don't want to move 15 minutes from where we grew up. We don't want to move 1 hour. I guarantee you, if you are in Georgia, Atlanta, in the big cities, if you just move 1 hour away from a big city, 1 hour away from New Orleans, 1 hour away from Houston, the prices plummet when it comes to land, and the availability of land that you can find goes up. It's simple. The further away from the big city, the cheaper it gets. Now, that's why the corporations are buying it all up. And because we figure, man, I don't want to drive to work 30 minutes every day. That's how they got you. You don't want to drive 30 minutes? Well, you're not going to get no land, or you're going to pay $300,000 for 0.25 acres or something, 0.15 acres. Basically, all you get is a house. We'll have to live like days gone by, living with multiple families under one roof. So that's true. But that same concept, we went from having multiple families under one roof to actually being able to have land. Like grandpa had 20 acres. A lot of the family land that's in the country, that's how it started. Like the great grandfather had land was cheap back then, so he got 30 acres, 40 acres, and all he did was just peddle it off to his kids. Now they've sold it all back to just individual people, but the great grandfather would peddle it down to the kids. So you don't need to actually have all the families living under one roof, but you can actually have all the family on 10 acres. I got a friend, and I'm almost done with the live stream. I got a friend that he said, man, if we get 10 families, we could get 100 acres. Now, this big time property, this ain't no wooded land like that's behind here. 100 acres for $500,000. We could get some pretty good land for $500,000. You would think that's a lot. But he said, man, if I can get 10 families to put in $50,000 each, and we'll have to come up with bylaws, and we'll have to say, you can't sell to nobody. We're not trying to get this land and so y'all can sell it off to whatever. He said, but we'll get the bylaws together. $50,000 a family. We could afford to get 100 acres for $500,000. That's real good land. Even in Louisiana, $500,000 for 100 acres should get you some pretty good land. Open land, maybe not a lot of it, but he said each family, 10 families, 100 acres, each family could get about, I think 5 acres. So each family got 5 acres. You can do whatever you want with it, clear it, don't clear it, clear an acre if it's not cleared. But each family should get about 5 acres, about one or two of the acres already cleared. Each family get 5 acres. That means 5 times 10, that's 50 acres. And we still got 50 acres left over. And he said those 50 acres that left over, we would call that communal land. That means that if we wanted to put a little shooting range on it, we could do that. If you wanted to put like a little community center on it, we can do that. If we wanted to leave like 20, 30 acres open for hunting, or maybe have a little pond to do some fishing, that's only $50,000 a piece for 10 families. And you can get 5 acres of land and 50 acres of communal land. And that would have each family having access to at least 55 acres of land. 5 acres that's totally yours, and 50 acres that's for everybody else in the group. Sounds so good. But the hard part is you can't ever get people to come together. But those corporations, that's all corporations are, is a lot of people pooling their money together. Those co-ops, that's all it is. When you see those apartment buildings, a lot of that's doctors, lawyers. They have groups, what they call buying groups. They pool their money together to go buy those properties and those lots to build that stuff on. We're going to have to do that on a small scale. $50,000, I pass more than 10 cars on the road worth over $50,000 every day. So it's not we don't have the money. You paying $50,000 for a Mercedes Benz. For right now, for a Ford, it's $50,000. You may not be able to do that with strangers. You may not be able to do that kind of co-op or have that kind of agreement with strangers. But can you get 10 family members to put in $50,000 a piece to go get that land? And that's 100 acres. How about if you get 5 family members to put $50,000 a piece? I don't care if they got to go borrow it from the bank or whatever, $50,000 a piece. Can you get 5 family members? That's $250,000 if just 5 of y'all put in 50,000. You know how much land you can get for $250,000? Unrestricted land? 5 brothers and sisters. Throw in $50,000. The math is simple. The people, that's the hard part. That's the hard part. So I just gave you the game plan. And then many times, it's pretty good. It's cold, that's why. I got Bevs out here giving me this water. Many times, like in my situation, I wasn't able to get anybody to go in with me. So many times you got to go it yourself. I couldn't get 20 acres. I couldn't get 15. I wish I could have got 25. But I was able to get 3. Somebody say hello, Bells. Come on. I was able to get 3.
Hello, guys.
You say,
I got that too.
it's too low. They ain't gonna even be able to see you.
They do.
Oh.
See?
You may not be able to get 3 acres, but you might be able to find a half acre somewhere. That's all you need. If it's just you and you can get that half an acre, I was able to get an acre. I was able to get an acre is a lot of land. You got a lot. An acre is a lot. I grew up back home in Opelousas. We had I think it was like 0.75 acres.
Hi, Miss Linda.
I told my youngest brother about you and we formed a family land project. If I had any water left in me, I probably would cry. I done sweated all the water out.
Hi,
But look,
Kimberly.
that's beautiful, Miss Harriet. That's what it's about. If you can we grew up on it. Let me tell you, I had to cut that 0.75 acres with a push mower. I found out that was a lot of land. Now, we didn't have anything growing. We didn't have fruit trees. We had 1 pecan tree on the property. But that was a good enough amount of land to raise a family off of. I remember when I was small, my daddy had a few pigs, I think, and a couple of chickens, but he had dogs. I think the dogs killed all the chickens. But I think the dogs killed all the chickens. And then the pigs he eventually I think gave them away because they was just making mud holes everywhere.
Hey, Miss Stephanie.
We got an acre and we're using less than a quarter. I see you. So I got 2 minutes. At that same time, I told you I was talking to Bells about buying more land. I'm going to talk about God. So sorry. I think God told me, it's like, you need more land. You haven't even planted out the land you got. And I'm saying, I was looking around like, man, I'm running out of places to plant. Like, I don't have nowhere else to plant nothing. And then he had me out here walking around. He was like, you don't have nothing there. You don't have nothing there. Look at all this grass behind me. He was like, you don't have nothing there. I was like, no, I need to. I don't like stuff like too jumbled up because it helps me to keep stuff a little bit cleaner if everything's spaced. And then he was like, okay, look at all that space you have back there. You have nothing back there. You have nothing over there. And then I was like, you know what? You're right. Here I am about to go buy 3 more acres of land. And I haven't even used what he's already blessed me with. Just big-eyed it. That's what they used to say back in the day. You too big-eyed it. Like, some of us are too big-eyed it. We actually have what we're begging for. We're just not using it. And so that's what he was like, if you want to go buy some more land, King, go ahead. But I'd rather you take what I've given you to its fullest potential. Once you've done that, I'll give you more land. But you take what I've given you to its fullest potential first. Now, if you want to go get some land on your own, go ahead. But when you want me to be a part of it, you take what I've given you to its fullest potential, where you can look around and say, man, I've done a great thing with what God has blessed me with. Once you do that, I'll give you the next thing you desire. And that's what I want y'all to do. Some of you have more than what you need right now. I know you want more, but you have what you need right now. Take that to its fullest potential. I know you like, oh, I don't want to put no trees in the ground because I might move. Please put that tree in the ground. What if you don't move? And I've shown you, if you've watched this channel, I'm not afraid to plant anything in this yard. You know why? Because I can plant those figs back here. I don't have to dig that fig tree up to take it with me. I just air layer it. I just take some cuttings off of it. Why not put it in the ground? You can graft. If you got a pear tree, put it in the ground. That's where it belongs. It belongs in the ground. If you want to take that pear tree with you, you can take some cuttings. But if you keep saying, I might move, I ain't going to put it in the ground. I might move, I'm not going to put it in the ground. 2 years has passed since you said that the first time. You still haven't moved, and you still haven't put that tree in the ground where it can grow, and it's going to take 2-3 years to actually get in the ground and establish itself. Orange trees, citrus trees, you can graft them all. You can air layer them all. Don't be afraid to take what God has given you. My husband would kill it. Put it in the ground. And if he killed that one, and the Lord see that you was trying to take that tree to its fullest potential, and your husband kill it, he'll give you another one. If that's what you was talking about. Because you can ask Bev, I've killed a lot of stuff that she had out here. My brother drove over her mango tree with his truck. We was trying to move some stuff, and I told him, I'm like, bro, Bell's got a tree over there, and going to the back property, he didn't run over it. But then I forgot about it, and then when he was leaving out of the yard, we went back over there like, I'm like, oh my God, tell me he didn't run over that tree. Tell me he didn't run over that tree. Smashed it flat like a pancake. So her son has pulled out her trees out of the pot.
It came back alive.
And he pulled it out again. My property tax is $6. Wow. So that's it for today's live stream. I want to thank everybody.
Brandy.
Who?
Brandy Monica.
Oh, thank you, Miss Kathy. Yeah. I can say this. Norma isn't coming back. Jesus is. Some stuff I don't say. Some stuff I'll just be a billboard. Because I don't know, some of these people, they think they can grow food without God. So they don't like to hear Jesus' name. YouTube don't like to hear. I don't even understand people anymore. I just do YouTube videos. Find you some land fast, family. That's what I want to tell y'all. Somebody said my son cut up my baby fig with a lawnmower.
My dad went over the jujube trees. Wow.
That's how it goes. But don't get discouraged, because sometimes I laugh at stuff like, I used to be so uptight as a gardener, like yelling at the kids. What did you do? What did you do? But now I'm like, I just thank God that they're out here and learning, and I can go and buy something else. And then sometimes I'm like, well, maybe God wanted something else there. I don't know. So thank y'all for coming into the live stream. Thanks.
Oh, wow.
Man. I thought that whole tree was about to fall. A big piece of the top of the tree just broke out.
That is.
I tell y'all, let me tell you how, I'm not calling myself like a seer or a prophet or nothing. But when I was setting up this live stream, I said to myself, Beverly, I'm not lying. I was feeding the chickens, and I was like, let me feed these chickens first, and then I'm going to get to this live stream. And then I said, I ain't even say it. I think something said to me, "What if when you on a live stream, the tree fall in the background?" It's Sunday, so y'all know I'm not lying. And I was like, man, I was just thinking to myself, like doing a live stream, the tree fall and y'all can really see it, but I can't. I can only hear it. It was something like that. Like, but the whole tree didn't fall, just the top fell out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what God was telling me on that one. I have to think about that. So, yeah, thank y'all for coming to the live stream. I hope y'all actually enjoyed the live stream. Thanks, Brandy. Thanks, Harry, for the hearts. Don't forget, if you're watching the replay, don't forget to share some love. Always leave us some hearts in the comments, because sometimes you want to comment, I found, but you really, like, I watch videos, I don't really want to say anything because they're talking about growing tomatoes. So I really don't have a question. So I'm like, how do I leave a comment without having to have anything to say? And then he told me, it's like, you know what? Hearts are the best thing, the best way to share the love without having to actually say anything or feel the need to say anything. That person just knows you was there because you left a heart. They know you was there. They know you was there watching. And sometimes sharing the love, leaving a heart is even better than leaving words just to leave words. So thank y'all for leaving hearts in the comments. Don't forget, I always look at the comments. I can't even respond to all of them, but when I see the hearts, I know you care and I know you're listening. So thank y'all for watching the Grow Family Network. And that's what it's about, right? I think I kept this family name or this channel name for that reason, because it's not just about buying land and having grass and being on YouTube. It's really about trying to help people grow a family, and that's more important than anything to me. If you can do it with your family, I think it's well worthwhile. So thank y'all for watching the Go From the Network. Thanks to my baby Bells for coming hanging out with me. Don't forget to check out Living with Bells. We actually just put up about 2 or 3 new videos on her channel. Just family stuff. So there's no gardening. It's strictly just family stuff over there that we're put. That's why we put all our family content kind of on Living with Bev. So if you haven't checked out her channel, go check it out. Go see what we do on our regular time when we're not in the garden. So thank y'all for watching the Grow Family Network. And as always,
Grow, grow, grow. Peace, guys.
peace.
Love y'all.
I'll let her turn it off because I got to drink some water. God bless y'all.